They gave themselves this right. We did not give them this right. That is dictatorship. That is illegal. How can people give themselves the right to cancel UN decisions? How can 190 nations take a decision that would later be cancelled by a Security Council permanent member? This is unacceptable. If they do not want to cede their seats, let them have a Security Council of their own, made up of 4 or 5 members, and use their veto right against each other. But we cannot take this situation any longer. We will establish a new Security Council. These 4 or 5 veto-yielding members might find themselves left alone. This is routine, to have Libya assuming its role in the Security Council. Now the Security Council and the United Nations are subject to indictment. That is why I did not attend yesterday's Security Council session, or the session held on September the 24th. I did not attend this session because I said what I think of the Security Council. It was not convenient to attend this session. It was attended by a Libyan delegate. When it comes to the Security Council, my opinion is very clear. From now on, I do not accept the Security Council. I call upon all nations to stop recognizing the Security Council as of now. Its existence is illegal, unacceptable, and non-democratic. We will not attend its sessions. We will not recognize it at all. I called upon the world to stop recognizing the Security Council from now on in its current form. It is useless. 65 wars have happened, and the Security Council did not deter the aggressions. What is the Security Council? It is a tool in the hands of the major powers, using it to serve their exclusive interests. This should have been examined on the 50th anniversary of the United Nations. It took us 14 additional years to examine the proposal to move the headquarters. I'm serious about it. Everyone agrees. People are tired and exhausted from traveling to New York. This is unnecessary. Why do they have to travel across continents and oceans to come to New York? This is illogical. It started in 1945, but why should it continue until now? People need a headquarters in a central location, like Sirte or Vienna, easily accessible without complicated security measures because the USA is targeted by Al-Qaeda. Sirte or Vienna is not targeted like the USA. Or let us allow the Eastern Hemisphere to have the honor to host the headquarters, as it has been the case for the Western Hemisphere, such as India or China. Why did I attend? It is because I hold the rotating presidency of the African Union. I had to attend the UN General Assembly and address it on behalf of the AU. My statement was on the behalf of the AU. Those who talk about a two-state solution do not know the demographics of the region. They do not know that the establishment of a so-called Palestinian state will mean Israel will have a depth of 14 kilometers. The Israelis will not accept this. It is not possible to have two states. They do not know how interconnected they are. Neither is it possible to separate the two states. They are intertwined. There are 1 million Palestinians living in the 1948 territories in so-called Israel. There are 500,000 Israelis living in the West Bank. Gaza is isolated. How can you say two states? They are integrated and torn up. They constitute one state now. They should ensure the return of the Palestinians who were expelled. Weapons of mass destruction should be abandoned. The problem will end there. Another reason is that many parties want to get rid of this problem in any possible way, in order to say that this problem is over. Once, the president of a European country said that we do not think like you about the future of our sons and grandsons, nor the future of Palestine. We want a solution right now that will end this headache. If they want to fight each other in 40 or 50 years, let them do whatever they want. We want a quick solution now. I do not want to deceive people or endorse such a futile solution. I want to think about a radical solution that will protect both the Palestinians and the Israelis and convince them to accept each other and live in a democratic state.
Was Muammar Gaddafi a hero or a dictator? That is the question many people were asking. Since the death of Muammar Gaddafi, the Libyan leader, Libya have not been the same. As we see what is happening in the Middle East now, the escalating conflict in the Middle East, many people were saying that if Muammar Gaddafi is still alive, he have a way of trying to control those conflicts in that Middle East. So we find our time to look at the life of Muammar Gaddafi when he was alive and when he was in power in Libya, how he controlled the country and what happened after his death. So if this is your first time of coming to my channel, please do us a favor, like, share, subscribe, and comment for more. So the truth depends on perspective of individual. Why some Africans call him a hero? Because he ruled Libya for 42 years without foreign control. That is Muammar Gaddafi for you. Oil well funded, free education, free health care, housing support. He supported African unity and he pushed for a United States of Africa. He funded development projects in some African countries. So to many, he understood or stood against the Western domination and the NATO influence. And I speak against the 5-member United Nations Permanent Executive Council. He wants more freedom. He wants more for Africans. He more or less an Pan-Africanist who is championing the cause for Africans to unite together, to come together as one country, have one currency, and have one strong government that can be able to stand to defend the resources and the territory of Africans, make it strong so it can able to compete with nations, continents like Europe, America, and the other continent and other powerful countries. That is the dream people see Muammar Gaddafi as the personality that he portrayed. But why others call him a dictator? Because no democratic election in his country during his time of his reign. Oppositions were banned. Political prisoners and the allied were tortured. Media was tightly controlled during his reign as Libyan president or Libyan leader. Strong cult of personalities around him. You do not penetrate in Libya. What is happening in Libya now is not happening during the dying of Muammar Gaddafi as the Libyan leader. Many Libyans felt they had no political freedom under his rule as their president. So he was seen as a revolutionary by supporters and a repulsive autocrat by his critics. These are the sizes people are looking at Muammar Gaddafi. Based on what has happened, people accuse him of terrorism, people accuse him of many sponsoring terrorists, sponsoring attack to the West. He became what the Americans or the West call the mad dog of the Middle East. So what happened to Libyan oil money? Libya had one of the largest oil reserves in Africa under Gaddafi. Oil profit funded social programs in their country. The state controlled most of the economy. The country have one of the highest GDP per capita level in Africa. But critics argued that during Gaddafi regime, wealth was unevenly distributed among Libyans. Loyalties to the regime determine who benefited most. Billions were allegedly controlled personally by Gaddafi and his inner circle. That is critics for you. But after 2011, when he was ousted, or after his death, oil production dropped due to war because war escalates. There's a rebel that eventually led to his capture and the eventual killing. Rival militants fought over oil terminals in Libya. Then corruption increased in the highest level. Libyan oil became a source of conflict rather than national unity, just as most African countries today are also find themselves in this kind of situation. I don't know why Africa are toying with their mineral resources, something that God deposited and used it to bless them, that will be a source of pride that will make them to be rich and provide amenities and social welfare for the citizens, so that their citizens will not be littering around the whole world looking for odd jobs to do, just like in Libya during the time of Muammar Gaddafi. I stand to be corrected if I'm wrong. What do you think that happened after the death of Muammar Gaddafi in Libya? Was his reign, his regime, more democrat or more beneficial to the people than after his death? So, but did not Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, help or destroy Libya? Another big question that we are going to look into. This is one of the biggest debates. Why NATO intervened? So the United Nations approved action to protect civilians in Libya. NATO airstrike targeted Gaddafi military to stop attack on protesters who are protesting for bad governance, for bad leadership in Libya. Countries involved in this attack include France, United Kingdom, United States. Supporters says NATO prevented mass killing, helped Libyans remove a dictator. But why critics says NATO destroy Libya? Let us see the argument side of the critics who are criticizing NATO. NATO went beyond civilian protection and pushed regime change. After Gaddafi's death, no strong rebuilding plan exists in Libya. Militant and extremist groups gain power in Libya and make things worse and escalate. Libya became unstable and divided. So, even former US leader later admit Libya became chaotic after intervention. So what happened after his death? Libya split into rival governments. Armed militants control cities. Human trafficking and migrant crisis increase. The Libya has become a route for many migrants to flow into the West, which under Libya control, under Gaddafi, I don't think it has increased or escalated up to this level that we are seeing since after his death. But many Libyans today says life was more stable before 2011, even if it wasn't free. Others says freedom is messy, but dictatorship is worse. So the deep truth is this: Gaddafi's story is not black and white. He was a revolutionary, a nationalist, an authoritarian leader, a controversial global figure. His death ended one era, but it did not bring peace to the Libyans. What are your thoughts on the death of Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi, who was ousted or removed from office with force, and the conflict that come from strife from NATO and their allies. What do you say? Was Libya managed under Gaddafi or after Gaddafi? What are your thoughts? Libya has been the main route of immigrants flowing from Africa, Middle East to the Europe and other Western land. What are we going to do to be able to stop the escalating crisis in the Middle East, especially what is going on now between the Israel, America, and Iran in that Middle East? Why is it escalating? What are we going to do to bring peace among that region so that it will not escalate? Because when it escalates more than this, it will affect the whole world, because cost of things will escalate and we all will begin to suffer it. So we preach peace. So let there be peace, that we all will coexist together and live in harmony and in peace. If you have any other thing to say, please support us by like, share, and subscribe, and drop your comment at the comment section. I remain yours, Kingsley from King Size Television. Thank you for watching, and see you